our event is talking so much, not just on food safety alone, but on nutrition as well. So, nutraceuticals and food fortification, the industry insights, a very key subject topic is going to be our next presentation. And to present this, I would like to call on stage with a big round of applause from all of you, Mr. Arun Om Lal, President from Hexagon Nutrition, our nutrition partner for the India Food Safety and Nutrition Summit. A big round of applause to Mr. Lal. Arunji, welcome to the stage.
Thank you.
And you have a fantastic session, sir. So looking forward to a great session where you can enlighten the entire audience. All over to you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Soumya. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good to see you out here in big numbers. So after a breakfast, let's put some serious talks on what Nutraceuticals is all about and an insight for domestic and international and the growth level it has. Before I start, this is the first time I'm doing, I like to thank Cynics and particularly Soumya, whom we know him for a very long time, and we see him growing and bless him, lots of growth in life and his company. So Cynics is a brand, Soumya, that I always say. So thank you, Soumya, for giving me this opportunity. So nutraceuticals, I would say, go back to 1865, when our friend, who was an anthropologist and a philosopher, talking about what the health should be. So this is what he said: you are what you eat, which is absolutely right. I think, am I right on this, guys? Let's make it an interactive session rather than a monologue which I only talk about. That would be great. And thank you for that, friends. So, believe me, it's a fact. You are what you eat, which was about in 1875, and in today's time, change are happening, and people and the consumer are becoming aware. So we talk about health, we talk about prevention, we basically talk about what the big thing is all about is self-awareness. So prevention through self-awareness, that's what I call the nutraceutical industry. This definition is very important to understand what nutraceuticals is all about and how my further slides will emphasize upon the medical benefits, the health benefits, the prevention or the treatment of a disease, the therapeutic treatment of a disease. So what FSSAI talks about, a food or part of a food that provides medical or health benefits, including the prevention and or therapeutic treatment of a disease. This is the entire subject of nutraceuticals that we talk about. What is the philosophy? The simple philosophy behind nutraceuticals is prevention. Let food be thy medicine. That is the reason why in 2006, we had FSSAI, which is Food Safety Standard Authority of India, being formed to talk about food, to talk about nutraceuticals. A shift from pharmaceuticals to nutraceuticals. So nutraceuticals being food is regulated by FSSAI, and pharma being drugs or medicine products is being regulated by Food Drug Authority, which is FDA. So if we understand these few fundamentals of nutraceuticals as to who the regulatory is and what nutraceuticals is all about, it becomes very easy to again understand the complementary health approaches. A simple diagram which we had made long time back. So we talk about nutraceuticals talks about natural products, nutritional, mind and body practices, physiological and physical. So this is what the nutraceutical industry is all about. So when we talk about natural products, we basically talk about the mediclinical plants and other products. We talk about botanical drugs or botanical food plants that we recently talked about. We talk about prebiotics, probiotics, phytochemicals, dietary plants, herbs, spells, and we also talk about mind and body practices. The mindful and spiritual practices, part of nutraceutical, the manual therapies. So my definition when I talk about therapeutical treatment, which is a part of nutraceuticals, we talk about manual therapies, heat cold. We talk about surgery, which becomes a part of nutraceuticals in terms of what are the equipments used for the surgeries. I'll share this particular things with everybody. So it's basically a good paradigm shift from what we had. And I would say the shift started from COVID-19. I think people will believe, if I'm right on that, am I? Audience? Right? So the benefits of nutraceuticals started from COVID. It has made a major impact for people to rethink on health. Awareness has increased. We talk about immunity. I remember COVID had come. We were all talking about our immune system. We were talking about immunity of our health. We are talking about weight loss, protein intake, healthy living, fitness, unbalanced, refined diets. Because of all this, nutraceuticals have come in being. Integrative health, sustainable health and preventive health management. Nutraceutical is all about. Brings conventional and complementary approaches together in a coordinated way. Make sense? Digitalization. In fact, during COVID and after COVID, this is what transpired. The rise in e-commerce platform, which made it easier for all of us to procure whatever we want to buy, be it grocery or be it medicines or be it any nutraceutical products. So with this in mind, we will go further and talk about what is the framework as per FSSAI. Like I said, I told you about the FSSAI definition. FSSAI has brought all these sub-segments in its gambit. And it is as early as last year, 2022, 29th March. So there was a gazette which was released by FSSAI talking on what is nutraceutical all about. What are the sections nutraceuticals will cover? What are the segments where nutraceuticals will get into it? So they were talking about health supplements. They were talking about nutraceuticals, which are basically individual elements. They are talking about food for special dietary use, food for special medical purposes, prebiotic food, and probiotic food. So if this is what nutraceutical is all about, conveyed to us by a regulator, under what sections or basically what schedules all these things starts coming in? So it's basically when I talk about dietary supplements, we talk about nutrients, which is vitamin, minerals, amino acids, and other nutrients. We talk about plant or botanical ingredients, molecules. We talk about prebiotic and probiotic. So these are the details which FSSAI had communicated as late as last year. And I being the chairman of the task force of nutraceuticals and a co-chairman in food processing industry, our basic objective was penetrating these pointers at the state level. You will still feel, we sitting at the center of Delhi, in places like Bombay where we are, the state government or the state FSSAI are still not aware of it, which we have to make them aware as to what nutraceutical is all about and what other subsections which come into it. We can discuss this later on in detail as to how we are doing it. So to sum it up, the nutraceutical spectrum contains functional foods, dietary supplements, and food for medical purposes, and prebiotic and probiotic as such. I presume I'm clear on what I'm saying? Any ambiguity, sirs? Thank you. Thank you, ladies. Thank you, gentlemen. So let me go and talk about each and every function and how it is growing and why it is growing and how it will grow further. So the first is the functional food functions. So what is functional food? Simple. It is the whole food or part of the food which is fortified, enriched with micronutrients. And this was a need of the hour, because when we talk about immunity, when we talk about immunity systems, we talk about enriching our existing food, our food habits with vitamins and minerals. With this coming in, what is the market all about? What was the global market? You will be shocked. The global market in 2022 was 305 billion US. Manik, you were asking me the... So this is basically how the market is growing internationally. It is growing at a CAGR of 8.93%. And where is the growth coming in terms of global? From Asia Pacific, which is 35%, and from North America, which is 24.9%. And when we say Asia specific, what is the India market growing? So the India market, on an average in the year 22, was $5.4 billion, growing up to, in the year 2032, 16.43. The CAGR is 11%. So we can understand the nutraceutical market growing in India and global. And what are the growth parameters? Why is it growing? What are the challenges? How we can all contribute towards its growth? It's a very nascent industry. I presume this industry is as old as about 20, 25 years old. And if it is 20, 25 years old, the regulation has just come in the year 2016. In fact, FSSAI was born in 2006, being the regulator of nutraceuticals. The first regulation came in October 2016, followed by 2018-21, and the latest in 22 in regulating what are the sub-segments of nutraceuticals and how they will be regulated. And recently, they have also communicated the latest level for RDA as to what RDA levels should be formed and how the food or the supplements or the prebiotic can be regulated based on the RDA levels which are there in every component. So FSSAI is also very strict in regulating the food items, basically in the nutraceutical industry. And that's a very good point. There are lots to do, but the start is there, and they are growing on that. And the best part is they're taking all of us into being. So all of us nutraceutical leaders are basically there in these meetings of FSSAI when they are talking about how it has to be regulated. As I'm talking about the nutraceutical market, let me talk about the dietary supplements market globally first. So the market size in 22 was $181 billion, growing in 32 for 394, and at a CAGR of 8.1%. Still North America is one of the best and the largest growing sector out there. We come to the Indian market. What is the size? The size was in 22, $4.5 billion. Estimated till 27, $10.27 million with a growth of 14%. The dietary supplements, why is it growing? I'll come in my later section. But yes, what I just wanted to put on facts is how the market is growing and the benefit it will have on our economic system. Food for special dietary use recently come in and regulated. Usually it was in FDA earlier, particularly by the pharmaceutical company, back into the nutraceutical part, because it is a specially formulated and intended for the dietary management of the disease or disease-related medical conditions that we have. A distinctive nutritional needs that cannot be met by normal diet alone. So this is again regulated by FSSAI in the clinical nutrition side and growing. By growing, I mean the market was $15 billion in 22. It will be about $22 million in 30, and a growth of 5% globally, North America, and now you can see the Indian size. In the year 22, it was 404.1 million USD dollars, estimated in the next 5-6 years to be double the market, which is $8.3 million, and growing at 10.6 CAGR. The only industry and the only subsections in the economy which is growing is basically the nutraceuticals today. So if we talk about growth, we talk about how it is growing. Let's talk about what is growing per se within the segment. When we talk about dietary supplements, the growth comes in from multivitamins and minerals. The growth basically comes from vitamin C, vitamin D. You have these tablets, everyone would be consuming, in fact. You go to a doctor will talk about first deficiency is vitamin D and the second deficiency is B12. Very clear on that. And we all say, we are in India, there is sun everywhere. So why should I have a deficiency of vitamin D within me? But believe me, that's a fact. The reason behind it is, touch your heart and say, hardly do people go out in the sun. We all are sitting in an AC office, an AC house, and an AC car. And we hardly have much of the touch of the sun at the right time where vitamin D comes in. So these are the deficiency in terms of the nutraceuticals and the dietary supplements on the higher way, which moves in. Multivitamin tablets, wherein a lot of UN agencies are now talking, talk of the town is for India. They require multivitamin tablets or gels, which are for pregnant and lactating women and adolescent girls. Basically a shift from iron, folic acids, tablets to multivitamin because of the deficiency, the multi-deficiency that we have in a lady around out there. Omega-3 fatty acids, a new entrant which the deficiency is very much there in most of our bodies, and the botanicals and other product line. If anybody does not agree with me, please raise your hand. I'm there. Or we can have a debate outside. Well, these are facts, so everyone has to agree because these are figures and facts which are there. So the functional food applications, the highest growing, and I was shocked myself whenever I basically talk about. Sirs. Thank you. Dairy products. Dairy products contribute in functional food the highest. In fact, that is the reason why I presume in India most of the cooperatives which are there, which supply milk to all our population and beneficiaries, are basically fortified with AD2. So that's a factor which has come in the last 5 years. The least is soya products because of its allergies and everything. Bakery and confectionery series. Another fact, because that goes as down to the rural population. So that's why high consumption of these type of, and these are all fortified. They are all fortified functional foods. Clinical nutrition applications. Disease specific, if we go, we talk about cancer now. Earlier, I presume 20 years back, it used to be a taboo word for everybody, not now anymore. It is cured, it can be cured at the levels of what we are. The metabolic disorders, malnutrition. Is malnutrition there in India? Guys? Huh? Sorry? So, rest, we don't have malnutrition. Okay. This should go to the ears of our government of India. We have malnutrition. Can be either under or over malnutrition, obesity or under malnutrition. Malnutrition is there and we have to remove it and eradicate from India. And that's what our government of India and every nutraceutical company and the leader should talk about for taking it forward around out there. So a survey was conducted by the Council of Responsible Nutrition, states intake of dietary supplements among the demographic group. And the results, good. Women, 79% consuming nutritional products. A sea change from what it was about 2 decades ago. Adult in the age of 35 to 54 or 40 consuming on the high side. The retired adults, why the retired adults? Because in India, the population of retired adults is increasing. And we just have, in between two populations, one is young and one is old. Retired does not mean old. I'm getting retired. That does not mean I'm getting old. Right? So it is not getting old. But people are cautious. People are conscious about their dietary use, their dietary needs, and the consumption is good as high as this. In ladies, very good. The ladies have become conscious. At our time, my mother never used to have supplements. But today, my mother uses supplements on a daily basis. So my mother can use, obviously, the wife and sisters and everyone have started consuming dietary supplements in a bigger way. So if I talk about nutraceuticals, basically, if I talk about the segments running into it, then what are the products which gets into it? We talk about proteins, the whey and soya protein. We talk about vitamins and minerals. We talk about herbal product line and others. If we talk about that, what are the type or form of products which get into these type of goods into our system? So we're talking about tablets, we're talking about capsules, we're talking about powders, liquids. Soft gels and gel caps are the new entrant coming in after the COVID out there. And this is easily bioavailable within your body system. And the children and the adult formulation are taking it in a bigger way. If you see most of the advertisements, earlier we were there with tablets and now they're converted them into gels. In fact, we at Hexagon Nutrition are formulating a lot of product lines in terms of soft gels and gels out there for the companies. And if this is the product, this is the form, what is the distribution channel? I presume 10 years back or 15 years back, we were only concentrating on pharmacies and drugstores. Drugstores within the hospitals, drugstores, chain of drugstores. The new entrants are the supermarkets and hypermarkets in the last 10 years, where they have also started marketing the nutraceutical product lines. Online, the biggest one, which is after COVID, which has come into, I presume we have not less than about 15, 20 apps which are there talking about nutraceutical product lines. And that's a growing market. We don't have time to go to a pharmacy outlet, but from a phone itself, which is very handy, we can go and online. So that is the reason of growth of nutraceuticals, which is growing. Awareness, people are getting aware of it. The availability is there, and I can just buy it from my palm of my hand out there. So like I said, the product, vitamins and minerals exhibit the clear dominance because enhancing the immune system into our tablets, exhibit the clear dominance. Now it is soft gels and gel caps which are there. And the pharmacy and the drugstores, the old time was still the number one. But with online channels coming in a bigger way, I presume that's where the distribution market increases it up. Who's my consumer? Who's the beneficiary who consumes the nutraceutical product lines? So we have infants, we've got children. Children, we talk about male and the lady children, adults, elderly, and particularly pregnant and lactating women. Now, these are beneficiaries not only in the marketplace, but with the government also. So all the government schemes with regard to nutraceuticals talk about all these end users. And by applications, if we talk about in nutraceuticals, so we have sports nutrition. So I've got a lot of sports nutrition, dietitians and nutritionists coming up in a bigger way. We have got weight loss, immunity, digestive, bone and joint, and heart health. By this, friends, good morning. Sorry? Yes, we have. In nutraceuticals there. In fact, most of the companies have one product where they market about all the usage out there. I'll come to that also. You've got a very valid point. Companies should have. So what are the growth drivers? Simple growth drivers. Awareness, like I've been always talking about. Lifestyle diseases, the biggest driver for nutraceutical product line. Disposable incomes, both the lady and the men working together. Nuclear families coming in, disposable income growing in. So we can go and buy the nutraceutical products, both for the lady, for the male, as well as for the infant or the growing child of the particular market. The geriatric population, the aged population, probably which is there, that has increased. The healthcare cost, upgradation of the healthcare infrastructure. So we've got a lot of state-of-the-art technological health centers which are there, and hospitals which have increased. The access and easy availability, e-commerce platforms, and the fitness centers. Now we are fitness freaks after the COVID. Everyone goes to a gym. Well, I'm not making it. If people are not going, they should go. Because if you see now, all societies, they have got gyms in that. So the growing fitness center, gyms, and health clubs are basically the main nutraceutical growth drivers that we have. I'm on time? So like I've been saying, gummies, chewable with flavors, jelly gels, oral thin strips, soft candies, bars have the new entrants in the marketplace in the nutraceutical thing, and these are growing now. Because it's easy, it's palatable, the children can eat it, the population becomes easy for them to consume it, and less of sugar or no sugar, which as the obesity stays right. So these are the products which are now coming in a very big way in our industry. So the global gummy vitamin market is projected to reach 10 billion by 27. Only the global gummy vitamin market. So you can see the change, the new change or the nose change which is there, and how they are increasing. You have changed. I remember Mr. Ajit Singh talking to me in my last presentation. He's basically from ACQ, and they are basically into tablet shell manufacturing, a 4,000 crore company. And he says, why doesn't anybody talk about packaging in nutraceuticals? A good question, am I right? Guys sitting at the back, how was the breakfast? Thank you. So, a change in the form of the product is important, was important, which has been introduced now in major of the companies with regard to capsules and with regard to just good-looking cells which were there. So now things have increased. When we talk of, I used to talk only nutraceuticals. Things have changed. In fact, it is cosmeceutical, nutraceutical, and nutra-cosmeceutical markets. Agree with me? Right? Because in cosmetics, again, that is being regulated by, will be regulated by FSSAI, and we are talking about the vitamins and minerals that gets into the cosmetics creams, or basically the medicines which are there. So this is the new age in terms of nutraceuticals. We talk about nutra-cosmeticals and cosmeticals and nutraceuticals. So this is a new change, a new happening in the world market. This is already launched in the West, and probably it has come in India, probably coming in a bigger way in the next part. So we talk about cosmeceuticals, nutraceuticals, and nutra-cosmeceutical product lines which are there. So I was talking about what are the challenges. That's my study, but would like everyone to bring in some points. It would become easy for us to talk to the government and take it forward. According to me, the need for governmental interventions and strengthening of regulations pertaining to production, distribution, and safety testing. Nutraceutical, in fact, FSSAI talks about the product line itself. They basically talk of auditing a plant, but usually it is audited by a third party. We are trying to get into the system of FSSAI by talking about they auditing the plants to understand where the products are made. We say I'm basically making a vitamin and mineral, or I'm making a clinical nutrition product, or any of the therapeutic product. Where am I making it? Is my plant competent enough to make it? And that's where the regulations have to come in, and are coming in the near future. Claims regarding the effectiveness of dietary supplements. Yes, FSSAI is talking about it, but it is yet not being regulated. We are talking about getting them regulated on these particular parts. The threat of counterfeit dietary supplements. Big branded organization leaders in nutraceuticals, they are making they are manufacturing their product line in state-of-the-art, because they are exporting a lot, it is as per the international standards. What about domestic, where people just make supplements and sell it in the market? Do you think that can be allowed? A big answer is no. It cannot be allowed, and that is the reason why we've been talking to FSSAI to regulate the market with regard to auditing the plants, auditing the system, the SOP which the plant has, and finally the product which is there. So I'll just finish off. So the consumer distrust. If we have all these counterfeit products in the marketplace and it does not work, there is a distrust among the consumers. So the use of deceptive advertising and communication strategies aimed at claiming the health benefits of taking supplements. One of the biggest Baba of our time, a big company, and this is what has happened, and Supreme Court has had to interfere and come with its verdict. So you can't claim anything to sell your product line. It has to be as per regulation. It has to be as per the RDA levels, the regulatory dietary allowance, which has been made clear by FSSAI in 2022. Absolutely right. High prevalence of inadequate knowledge in spite of positive attitude. Granny's recipe. This is what we are. This is what we do. This is what we make. and this is what we market. So, sir, you were talking about for healthy aging consumers, this is what is there, and now probably we coming in it, a lot of companies, a lot of leaders will also jump in. And we've always been a market leader, so we come in with innovative things in the marketplace, and then we would love competition to come in, so we can be corrected also in a later stage. अभी तक तो नहीं, but good thought. It becomes easier to consume and go to work. Am I right, sir? Maybe a very good thought. Soumya, I am done. What has changed is the movement in preventive medicine towards self-care. This is what I started off with. Self-care. Now each and every individual is talking about self-care and preventive medicine. Thank you very much, guys, for listening so patiently. God bless. Thank you.
Thank you, Arunji. And I think just to quickly brief the audience as well, Arunji, Vikram, and the entire team of Hexagon Nutrition is there throughout both the days, and they have a wonderful stall outside where you can meet up with their team and know more about their products and offerings. And I'm sure after this session you will have a lot of questions as well. So please reach out to their team. In fact, we will be having a representation from Hexagon. Vikram will be part of the next panel sessions as well. So a lot to learn and understand from Hexagon Nutrition, our nutrition partner. And a big round of applause once again to Mr. Arun Om Lal, President from Hexagon Nutrition, on that wonderful presentation on nutraceuticals and food fortification, the industry insights. Now I would request Dr. Naveen Dhanda from JSBS Foods to kindly do the honor of felicitating our eminent speaker here. Dr. Naveen, thank you so much for doing the honors. Kindly take the stage, sir.
And thank you, audience. You guys were great here. Very participative. Thank you very much.
A big round of applause once again, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Arun Om Lal, President from Hexagon Nutrition, on that wonderful presentation on the role of nutraceuticals and food fortification in our food and beverage industry. Thank you so much, Arunji.